The first match on this program, the Lucha Brothers are in the ring with Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Baker on the outside against Jungle Boy and Dino Douche with the Dwarf in their corner, and they just go to the ring and just ring the bell. They're mostly unopposed. Their opposition is a rerun on a weaker network, and they still can't just at least treat these guys like stars and format it like a real television program, and for the first match at least bring them out to the ring. And they don't have to be 5-minute entrances like they do in the Thunderdome, so they can show off all their lights, but give a guy a fucking entrance. Give a match an entrance. Anyway, they started off with Jungle Boy and Felix doing an extended tumbling routine where then the heel team started out wrestling the babyface team. And then the Lucha Brothers were in control of Jungle Boy for a while, but Jungle Boy, I put in quotation marks, hot tagged Dino Douche. They got a little steam, not much, but a little steam on Jungle Boy, and he gives the supposed hot tag to Dino Douche. And Dino's comeback consisted of one headbutt and then picking up Jungle Boy and throwing him into the opponents. Since as soon as Jungle Boy tagged Dino, he quit selling completely and joined into the comeback that the other guy was making. Then, I'm not making this up, Jungle Boy tries to jump up on, Dino's on his fucking all fours, on his hands and knees. And Jungle Boy tried to jump off of Dino's back, but his foot slipped and he flying headbutted one Lucha Brother in the nuts and landed on top of the other one, probably with a knee in his nuts. And so at that point, the Lucha Brothers rolled out to regroup and what the fuck is going on, and everything ground to a halt in the match. Then Jungle Boy did an extended America's Got Talent Cirque de Bolshoi routine with the Lucha Brothers. And this is, again, I couldn't write down what they were doing because I didn't fucking understand what they were doing, and I was looking at it. They were just tumbling and swinging and somersaulting about. But Jungle Boy has so much potential. He's a good-looking kid. He's small, but he's underdog small. He's got the fucking rock star hair. He's got the smile. He's the son of a fucking iconic actor that now they've completely quit referring to, if you've noticed. One fucking unique item about him that nobody else has, they've quit referring, and only Jim Ross was forcing those references in to begin with. But his potential is being wasted because he will never learn how to work, how to have a match, how to put a match together. Not only working once a week, basically, but working with people like this. And I'm not just knocking the Lucha Brothers. He doesn't need to be learning Lucha because Lucha ain't going to make him any money in this country. Jungle Boy should be in a fucking high-level training program learning how to think wrestling and how to put matches together to capitalize on his selling ability and his wonderful baby face and cork out those big moves when he makes fucking comebacks. But just all the flipping and flopping. If he sold like Ricky Morton for a real heel and then uncorked all that shit on his comebacks, he could get over like a superstar with an American opponent that can have a sensible match psychologically. He's learning bad habits in these garbage fucking tumbling matches with the Americans or the Luchas, and it's going to be impossible for him to unlearn these bad habits. So then the heels healed. The heels started healing about halfway in the match, and they got more heat on Jungle Boy again. And this time, if you noticed, he hit a hot tag in a vacuum. He hit an actual real ducking, dodging hot tag. But since the whole match had been a mess up to that point, the tag had not been set up. It had been made before. It still wasn't hot. But he did the right things. And also the heels, if you go back and watch, folks, and I know there's a couple 100,000 of you that keep this on the DVR, listen to me first and then make notes on what to watch. Watch when Jungle Boy made that hot tag. that he ducked and dodged and flipped over the Lucha Brothers over, the heels made zero attempt to stop him. They just stood where they were supposed to be so that one took a swing half-heartedly so he could roll under him. And then the guy that swung didn't even bother, just gripped the turnbuckle and didn't even bother to turn around and try to chase him. And the other one just stood there bent over so he could fucking flip over him and didn't even turn around as he went past to try to stop him. Just lackluster. At that point, Dino made for what is for him at least a decent comeback until he did one of those fucking head palm shoot-offs and the other guy went with it. You know what I'm talking about, right? They just reach out and it's a masked guy. You couldn't even say you were grabbing onto his hair. He just puts his head or his hand on the back of the guy's head and swings his arm toward the ropes, and the 200-pound man just runs and goes with it. Fucking, that's kind of shit that would get you called out of the ring and set down in a proper wrestling school training session. And they're doing it on national television. Head palm shoot off. The guy went with it. He picked him up. The Lucha brother, I can't remember. And he tried to he picked him up like for a Death Valley driver, but he tried to drop him, but he dropped him feet first the wrong way. And it didn't look like it was supposed to look, whatever the fuck it was supposed to be, but it also hurt and Jim Ross said that was ugly. But it also apparently fucking rung the guy's bell because he took forever to get up. Did you see that? Like a reverse Death Valley driver where you forgot which way to fucking drop the guy? Yeah. And it looked like he rung his bell. Anyway, then the Lucha Brothers and Dino did some klutzy lucha. And thank God, Dino got his backflip in. Standing backflip on a cover for a 2 count. Just threw it away as usual, but everybody's seen it a million times. And then after Dino was finished stinking the joint out, did you see him walk over and just give Jungle Boy a flat-footed tag? Just walked over, just flat-footed tag. Boom, you come back in. And then Felix, who's the heel, cut both Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy off by himself. And then hit a move on both of them at the same time. Had one hooked over his back and leg dropped the other one. Not only the fucking giant Luchasaurus, but the Jungle Boy as well. And the fact that one heel is stopping and out wrestling 2 baby faces right after. Goddamn. Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel, I wrote, spinning in their graves. And then finally, they did the goddamn deal they do in every match. And we've talked about this. It'd be a fine-looking finish if they could leave it well enough alone. The package pile driver and the other Lucha brother comes with the double stomp to the guy in the pile driver's ass to drive him harder down in like a stuffed pile driver, right? And the way they do it, that looks pretty good. That should be a hospitalization angle, obviously, but at least it could be a finish. But then the guy that does the double stomp every single time has to jump up, hit the far ropes, and do a dive from the side he just came from onto the baby face that somehow is in that position on that exact same side of the ring every single time they hit that fucking move. I don't know how it happens. I was there at MLW when they did it. It was a finish. That move was a finish, but the fucking dive afterwards killed the whole thing because the people were looking at the dive and popped on it and missed the finish. But that also means that the TV crew that has to shoot the finish is on the fucking cover in the middle of the ring and misses the dive. Now they're doing it for a false finish. They hit the fucking Jungle Boy with the goddamn package pile driver, double foot stomp, and then, of course, did the dive on Dino, and Jungle Boy kicked out of that. And then was immediately, somehow, after this devastating finishing maneuver, fresh as a daisy, and somehow, Brian, did I have a bad reaction to some type of over-the-counter cold medicine Or did I see Jungle Boy jump up after this stuffed package pile driver and toss one of the Lucha brothers into the other one so that one Lucha brother gave his own partner a Canadian destroyer?
That was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I couldn't believe that. I actually watched, I rewound it live. I was watching live, but I have DVR. I rewound it to see that again. I couldn't believe just how stupid to come up with the idea and then execute that during a match. I'll let you.
Just a dumpster fucking fire of a match. And you know what? I guarantee you that was that was the Lucha Brothers finish. I guarantee you, because in Mexico, in Lucha, that would be a creative, cool finish. Because people there know what Lucha is and they've grown up with it and they get it and whatever. But in America, that was a creative and cool finish to the 500 or 750,000 people that watch cosplay wrestling, AEW. And that completely destroyed the Lucha Brothers as a fucking credible tag team with everybody else that might ever have seen that used to like wrestling and doesn't anymore. That kind of shit is why they don't watch it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And then, but they came up with it, I guarantee you, to give them an out for getting beat. One guy beats the other guy, right? His own partner beat him. Well, that would be great, even if in their pea-brained line of thinking. That would have worked if then the fucking one guy that took the destroyer got up and was mad yelling at his brother. So the fucking guy didn't even sell a fucking finish like that where his own brother dropped him on his head. He didn't even sell for his brother. And they're up arguing. And then Eddie Kingston comes in and tries to make peace out of that whole slapdash ragtag group. And now they've basically wasted Eddie Kingston with this group of sloppy fucking schmoes. I like Eddie Kingston's work, and I love his promos. He didn't really get a chance to cut a promo here. He's just fucking trying to get other guys to quit arguing and not ever really being uninterrupted. But
and it took forever. He was trying to get them to shake hands forever, and then all of a sudden, randomly, this is the first time I think this has been mentioned, he turns to the Blade, he goes, "Hey, where's your wife?" Yeah. The first time there's been any reference to the fact that his wife is now with QT Marshall. It's the first reference to any of that, and that's
because nobody knows who his fucking wife is in real life except all the fucking idiots that live their entire life on the internet and study this shit, which is who they're programming to because nobody else understands what the fuck's going on here.
I like the Lucha Brothers less and less every time I see them.
Every time. Well, I was ahead of you, which is why I was ahead of you already on that, because I'd seen them all last year, too.
Eddie Kingston is fantastic on the mic. And I wonder where they're going to go, because now they're playing up the truth, which was he was never actually eliminated from that Battle Royal on the pay-per-view event. He went through the middle rope, I believe. So I don't know if that means they're going to do him and Archer, or if that means he gets the shot at Moxley after Archer. I'm not sure, but that was another focal point of the promo.
All we know is that heels are still mad at heels.
Yes. Even if they're brothers.